I'm Denise Hurley. I am the host of Journeys. And this is a program where I invite folks to come in who you may want to know a little bit more about, different folks in the community, entrepreneurs. Just different people with different backgrounds, different jobs, different careers or hobbies or whatever. And I am inviting them on my show to find out more about them. And today I have with me is Cynthia Cannon from Sunrise Boutique in Clinton. Welcome, Cindy, to the show. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. Glad to be here too.
Good, good. Okay, well, let's start with Sunrise itself. It's a landmark in Clinton, for sure, and it's been around a long time. Can you tell me how long you've been in business?
I've been there 47 years.
Really?
Yeah, that's a long time.
That is a long time. Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
Yeah, I loved every minute of it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what was the dream in the beginning? What happened when you first started?
As a kid, I had a pretty adventurous spirit, I guess. And I used to love to travel. But in order to travel, you had to earn a lot of money, so I started working retail situations. All over the place, I'd have like 2 or 3 jobs, and I'd earn just enough to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I went up to New Mexico, worked as a truck stop waitress, and up to Maine as another waitress, and did some traveling cross-country, for like 3 times. And I just loved the excitement of it all. But after I did it for so long, I backpacked in Europe for like 6 months. Did it for a long time, and at first I thought that my little town was the last place I wanted to be for the rest of my life.
Really? Mm-hmm.
But I found out through travel and learning about different cultures and peoples, and it was just so wonderful to experience all of that when I did. But I also, whenever I would stop back home, I would just have a newer, better, more larger connection to my little hometown. So after traveling for maybe 2 years, I came home, and one of the stores I was working at decided to close. And I had no money. I had $500 that I was saving for another trip.
Right.
And I thought, jeepers, I love retail. Why don't I try it? So I took that $500 and borrowed $500 from my then boyfriend, now husband. And I was working at Carol Cut right across the street. Mm-hmm. And I went over to Ebby Philbin. He owned the Clinton Coal and Oil Company. And I says, Ebby, are you ever thinking about retiring? He says, I'll retire right now. What do you want? I said, well, I love this location. It's a perfect little spot for a little store, a little boutique I have in mind. But I'm kind of scared. I don't really have any money. And he said, well, it's yours. So I thought, why not give it a go? Mm-hmm. If I lose money, I lose money. I'll just earn some more, working some more retail spots, and I started it, and I fell in love with. I've always loved working retail and helping people, and here I am, 47 years later.
Oh my goodness!
I'm still lousy at math. I was then, I am now, but I have a lot of common sense. So that's what's gotten me through, and my love for people.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, didn't you start off with just blue jeans, right? Your store was
jeans and jewelry and all kinds of giftware and stuff.
And now, look what you have. I mean, how did you grow the business? What happened? You have so much there now.
I sunk every penny I made into it. Many years I never paid myself because I was building my inventory.
Sure.
I was lucky enough to be living at home at the time, and my parents were very helpful that way. They couldn't help me financially start the business, but they could help support me in my living. Mm-hmm. So for probably the first 10 years, I was still living at home.
Okay.
And then, the 80s were much more profitable, I think, for the economy. And at that time, I had moved out, and business was really good, and a lot of the people have stayed with me from those days of when I first opened.
When you first started.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, all right, so you started with blue jeans and jewelry, and then you expanded somewhat to other lines of whatever. Can you give me an idea of kind of how that progressed?
Well, I listen to the people, and I'm very instinctive, and I knew what I thought they needed.
Okay.
So I would purchase, and then when that customer would come in, they'd say, "Oh, I've been looking for that." It's like, "Yeah, I kind of thought you might."
Sure.
And I just picked different lines based on what the customers were saying they wanted or were interested in. I'm not very trendy. I like things that are good value for the dollar spent. So it kind of evolved into better quality goods than when I first started, because I found that as people grew, as I did through life, that they wanted something to last them longer.
Right.
You know, they didn't want the little $8 shirt that was disposable. They wanted something they would still have in 10 years or more. And many of my customers still have some of the original pieces that they bought from me.
Really?
Many come in wearing the jewelry. I had a woman, a young girl, oh no, she's a woman now, who bought a turquoise ring in 1974 when she was in high school. And she wore it in the other day, and she was just so in love with it still, from 1974.
Yeah.
So jewelry, kind of lasts forever. But a lot of people have clothing as well.
Well,
Bell bottoms, of course.
actually, that's true, because this little jacket I bought years and years ago at your shop, and I still have it. And I have a lot of the clothing that I purchased at your store still in my closet. So absolutely.
And they can't get rid of it because it's still unique and different.
Exactly.
And they can't find that kind of item. I look for unique.
Yes, you do.
That's the thing. And more natural fibers and things that you'll feel good wearing.
Yeah. Now, I've always had the sense of your little place being a community center for a lot of different people. And I know, and maybe you can tell me a little bit more, but there's a lot of people that come to your store just to kind of hang out, to talk, to socialize. How do you feel about that?
That's where you really get into the heart of who I am.
Okay.
Without that kind of a interaction with people, I wouldn't be anywhere near as happy of an individual as I am now. It is like a little community center, a little community well.
Yeah.
And through the years, I've been blessed to be able to help a lot of people with different situations.
Right.
And some of them are selling something from the store. Some of them are giving food because they're hungry. Some of them are clothing because they had a fire.
Right.
So, I mean, there's so many different situations, even buying a new blouse because they're putting their mother to rest. There's so many different family situations that I am lucky enough to be involved in and to be part of. And that just fulfills me so much. It helps to just enlighten me and make me happy. Just yesterday I had a 17 or 18-year-old girl from another town stop in just out of the blue, and I offered to help her with something she had purchased. And she thought she might have gotten taken with a very expensive crucifix. I said, I'll give you an educated opinion, just bring it in. But come to find out, I mean, she did overpay for what she bought, but that's okay. I said, it's still worth having. She's on her way to Calcutta to work with Mother Teresa.
Really?
Yeah, and she has a one-way ticket, and she's 18 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And so we talked for almost 2 hours about life and about what's important in life. And it's wonderful for me to be able to mentor someone young with the knowledge that I know from my life experiences. So for me, that's why I do what I do.
Sure.
I just love life. I love the store. I love helping people purchase exactly what they need for someone, whether it be a warm, comfy pair of socks for everyone they love in their life,
Right.
or a piece of jewelry that makes them happy, or it's a wonderful life. It's very appropriate this time of year to say that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really enjoyed what I've done, but a lot of it does evolve around helping people, and that's why I love retail so much, because you get involved.
Yeah, because you have all kinds of different people come into your store all the time, and not just from the Clinton area, but from beyond. when people come into town and they
Right.
stop by and they hear about your little shop and they come in. So you get to meet all kinds of different people, which is
Yeah.
a great experience.
Yeah, and there's so much to offer them in terms of buying in a retail situation. I don't know of many stores that are quite like mine
No.
because I have so many diverse items. I can almost, if someone came in with a Christmas list, I could almost fill everything. I mean, you can't get everything in a small town. You're never going to be able to, but it's important to buy some things sometime. Locally,
Right.
because community is what we have,
Right.
and it's and downtowns are the heart of communities.
Absolutely.
So you need to support them. The little grocery stores and gas stations and hardware stores and retail stores, because if you want them to exist, they have to be supported.
Right.
So I love the new Shop Small. Saturday Day that
Right.
American Express has very graciously funded for all small businesses. It's absolutely amazing because without them, they're helping us to survive.
Sure.
With this wonderful day that tons of people come in your store and are happy to be there and happy to support you, and it's a much greater awareness for our little businesses. So things like that are important.
Nice.
And they work.
Nice. Okay, so what do you have new and exciting in the store these days?
What do I have new? Well, every day something comes in, pretty much. Oftentimes it's based on a customer comes in and they're looking for that, and ding, place that order, and next time they come in, it's there. Christmas sells a lot of socks. I mean, socks keep my doors open in January, February, March, but I have the best socks ever, whether they be, alpaca, compression. That's what I sell the most of. So I have a huge area of that. Scarves and jewelry, unique sterling silver pieces, I think have always been my strength. And I'm always on the lookout for new artisans and at realistic prices. I have to have items that I can turn over and not just look at because they're beautiful.
Right.
So you have to have a range of items, like a $5 item for a little boy who's buying for his Grammy and wants to show her something that he picked out, and it could be a sparkly little angel or something like that, right up to a $300 or $400 piece of jewelry that someone wants to gift to someone as a very special gift or a present. So I have a range.
Yeah, you do. I noticed that you have, I've noticed some local artisans in the area that do bring their cards in or their artwork in, and you will display them or put them on sale for them. And so you're supporting local artists in the area as well. Is
yes,
that,
as best I can.
Yeah. Is that also, does that include jewelry makers, or is it just people that do cards? Or
it's limited with the jewelry because a jewelry maker has a labor cost that's involved in what they're creating, and everything that's made has a labor cost. But they usually I have to buy wholesale, sell retail. So I have to make something on a consigned item.
Right.
And I have to give a display place, and I have to pay someone to actually sell it for them. So I have to make something on that item. And usually the artisan's price is a little higher than I think that item should sell for.
Right.
So I can't take it because it's going to outprice that item. So it depends on whether the artisan is able to offer to me at a price where I can put a little markup on it and then still sell it at a reasonable price. Right. So I do have some local artisans. I have a lot of fair trade items as well.
You do.
From around the world. I love supporting, like Sacred Threads. They have an orphanage they have for the past 40 years, and it's a teaching school, and they provide funding for that all the time.
Right.
There's a lot of little wonderful stories with some of the articles that I sell.
That you have.
Yeah.
The Tibetan, is it the bowls or the bells? Now you didn't go to Tibet.
No,
you
I
went
wish.
to. But
my travel days are over.
I know, but you do work with folks that are from that region.
Absolutely.
To purchase those singing bowls?
Singing bowls, yeah. And also the woolens. When Tibet had a massive earthquake, a lot of their wholesale people, like myself, immediately set orders in for the next year, a year earlier, so that they could actually start producing. And so they would have a foundation to keep building from, because they lost a lot of Tibetan and Nepalese families who produced these products, lost their homes, and their homes were their workshops. And the Tibetan bowls, they're mostly, well, some are machine made and some are made in little villages in the mountains. And those are the really spectacular ones. They're the healing vibrational bowls, and they're just wonderful. You can put one near you. I mean, I have that massive one in the store that I often will walk around a person as it's vibrating, just to kind of ground them. And it's a wonderful healing kind of a thing. Of course, it's so heavy that I hurt my shoulders. I can't do it that much anymore. But I enjoy doing it because I get as much out of it as they do of a healing. Just from the sound.
Yeah. Now, you have so many amazing different things in your store. It's so much fun to go in there and just see what you have all the time. What's your vision for the future? What's next?
I wish I knew. I wake up every morning. I'm happy every morning. I go to work every morning. I love being there. I don't know. People ask me that all the time. Are you going to retire? Well, I do have a brand new grandson this year, and yes, I would love to retire. My ultimate dream would be to sell my business to someone like-minded and community-oriented and actually work for them. I mean, that would be like the highlight for me, because I wouldn't have to do my billing on my kitchen table at home and, my ordering on my kitchen table, because you can't get anything done at work.
Right.
That would be my ideal situation, but I don't know. I mean, I want to stay till it's 50 years, which is only another 3 years.
Really? That? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Wow. And after that, Cindy. I mean, I think I may, just try to relax a little bit like all my other retired friends and actually have the opportunity to do things.
Go back and travel some?
Or travel. Yeah. Yes, I still have a bucket list.
I wanted to ask you one more thing. Memories of your favorite memory of building your business. Is there a favorite memory?
Well, probably my favorite memory, aside from the fact that my family, my brothers, sisters, all helped me to create it, to paint it and get it ready and, help me unpack and all that. But my favorite store memory was seeing a woman come in, and she had a big camel hair cape on. She was a lovely, beautiful woman. And I watched her from the back, and I watched her pick up all these little things that she was buying, little tchotchke trinket kinds of things. She came around, and she had this big smile. Her name was Edna Carroll, and she was from Sterling. And she shopped with me. She shopped with me for all of the, probably 40 years until she passed.
Okay.
So the vision of her accepting me as kind of a hippie store back then, she was a little older than myself, a little more conservative than myself, and she just embraced the whole store, the clothing, everything about it, but more than that, she became a friend immediately.
Yes.
So she's probably my favorite of all customers, and one of my favorite memories of the first week opening my store, or the first month. I can't remember exactly what time frame.
Nice.
I loved her very dearly. But I have a lot of great memories.
Sure.
A lot of them don't come to my mind right this second, but I really have been blessed with a lot of wonderful interactions with people that become my friends. And, they're customers, but it's so much more than that to me.
Because it's a community.
It's like my family.
Right.
And I look out for them.
Yes.
And that it will always be that way. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So, how can people get in touch? Tell me a little bit about your store hours, when you're going to be open, how to reach you online, anything else you want to talk about your store.
Well, the Sunrise is open. These are different hours because it's December.
Sure.
So 10 to 5:30, basic hours are 10 to 5:30, Monday through Friday. Saturday, 9 to 5:30. And then now we're open Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So starting the 13th, I believe it is, of December, the Thursday, we'll be open every weekday till 8 o'clock at night,
Okay.
getting ready for the holiday season. And Sundays will be open. We're open 12 to 5 right now on Sundays, but closer to the last 2 Sundays, it'll be like 10 to 5.
Okay.
So we try to accommodate. People will call in sometimes and say, can you stay a little later? Of course, if I can, I'm happy to do that.
Sure.
Facebook is a good way to contact me. I have a Facebook page, and I do have a Sunrise Boutique website, www.sunriseboutique.com. And there are some things to purchase, but I recommend people call me and do it on the phone, and I can send pictures, or we can FaceTime and do it that way. So people that are far away can still have a kind of a idea of or a feel for the store. FaceTime is pretty wonderful, you know, because you can actually turn the camera around, show them exactly, and tell them everything about that little item. It's closer to Christmas. It's a little harder to do that because we will be fully staffed,
Right.
but it gets so busy. That Christmas week is one heck of a week in my store. So nighttime hours are probably better to call or try to FaceTime.
Sure.
But in 978-368-0227 is the telephone number to call.
Phone number. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you, Cindy, for coming on my show today. It was great having you here, and I love your little stories about what goes on there and all your interactions with a lot of different people in the community and vendors and, you know, the outside community. So I want to thank you again, and thanks for everybody for joining us for Journeys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much.